Hey up everyone! So the Critics' Choice Awards are taking place this Sunday, so it's time for me to predict who I think the winners are going to be for the Critics' Choice Awards this year. I'm going to go through all the categories on Gold Derby and give you my thoughts and predictions as to who I think is going to win this year. If you're a fan of like award season content, that's what my channel's all about, so yeah, do consider hitting subscribe. And if you do like this video, help me out with a little thumbs up button, it's great for the algorithm. And yeah, do get involved in the comment section down below. I want to hear your predictions for who you think the winners of the Critics' Choice Awards are going to be. Alright, so let's get started then. I'm going to click on the Gold Derby app, and first, I believe, of the categories is Best Film. Yeah, it's Best Picture, and this is going to be a doozy one to pick because Oppenheimer does seem like the top choice right now. It did win Best Drama at the Golden Globes. The Critics' Choice might want to keep the Oppenheimer train a-chewing, so yeah, I could see Oppenheimer winning here. But you gotta remember though, a lot of critics loved Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon this year. I do think there's an outside chance that Barbie could surprise here. Like, it did get the most nominations, but it is rare to see like a goofy-ish comedy win here. I mean, it can be done, like just look at last year with Everything Everywhere All at Once winning in this category, but I don't know if the Critics' Choice Association is going to feel the need to honor two light-hearted, goofy movies, in back-to-back years. I don't know if they're going to doing Everything Everywhere All at Once with Barbie. But there were a lot of critically acclaimed big director movies this year, and it's hard to choose just one. With the Critics' Choice, they do often gravitate towards like, critic darling films. They're not necessarily like, audience darling movies, but the critics love them, like The Power of the Dog and Roma. What else is one here? Spotlight, 12 Years a Slave, Boyhood as well. So it's why I'm thinking Killers of the Flower Moon could win here. It's got the prestige, it's got the star power, it was well reviewed. I'd say it's less of a technical achievement than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is still a masterful film, but it is definitely more of a popcorn crowd pleaser than Killers of the Flower Moon was. More people went to see Oppenheimer than they did Killers of the Flower Moon, and they're both 3-hour plus movies. But Poor Things could win here. It's been in a lot of critics' top 3 movies of the year. It's certainly more of a weird and unconventional film, and sometimes critics like to show, oh, their taste isn't super duper mainstream like Oppenheimer. But yeah, if I had to compare it to any other previous winner at the Critics' Choice Awards, it would be The Shape of Water, because Poor Things also has that weird and wonderful world building of a Guillermo del Toro movie, except it's Lanthimos, and Lanthimos has really earned himself a lot of acclaim and prestige among critics groups. So yeah, I could see a pathway for Poor Things winning here. But I keep coming back to Oppenheimer and how it feels like the perfect balance of crowd pleaser, but also a film that critics also really admire and appreciate. It's got the spectacle, but it's also got a lot of substance. It's far from a conventional biopic. Even though it is super mainstream, made a lot of money, I think critics still can feel good about giving it to Oppenheimer because it is a film that does have some heft to it. Plus, with the whole cultural phenomenon of Barbenheimer and the success of both movies, there's an argument to say that Oppenheimer really did rejuvenate a lot of people's interest in the cinema. Barbie did as well, but giving it to a film that helped people go back to the cinema, means something to people. It's nice to see people going back to the cinema. So giving it to a movie where a lot of people went to go see it, kind of makes a lot of sense. And a winning pair of Best Director for Christopher Nolan and Best Picture for Oppenheimer does make a lot of sense to me. They often do go hand in hand, and in the last 10 years, Best Director and Best Picture at the Critics' Choice Awards have matched 7 out of 10 times. And usually with the Golden Globes, Best Picture does align with one of the films that won Best Drama or Best Comedy/Musical at the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes, or the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, is mostly made up of international critics or journalists, and the Critics' Choice Award is also made up of critics. Granted, Hollywood Foreign Press Association is a lot smaller, their membership is about 300. Critics' Choice Awards is about 637, I believe, so it's double that. But you would kind of deduce from that you'd think that critics, they probably do have a similar taste to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So it does make sense to give it to Oppenheimer or Poor Things. They won in the comedy musical category and the drama category at Golden Globes. So yeah, my instincts is telling me it's either going to be Oppenheimer or Poor Things, but I think Poor Things would be a more interesting winner because it make the race more of a race, if it was Poor Things. But yeah, Oppenheimer just feels like it's got the momentum, it's got, a lot of love behind it. And I'm kind of predicting the Critics' Choice to follow suit. I think they're excited about Oppenheimer. So I'm predicting a win for both Best Picture for Oppenheimer. I'm also going to put Christopher Nolan in for Best Director because, yeah, that just feels like an assured prediction now. Like, there's not many categories this year where I feel like, oh, that's who it's going to already. But yeah, I do feel quite confident that Best Director is shaping up to be Christopher Nolan's year. It feels like it's his time. He is really starting to collect the trophies. He's got the momentum. No one seems to disagree that he's not deserving. He's overdue, and Oppenheimer is him working at the peak of his powers. So yeah, I think it is time. All right, so next up we have Best Actress. It's the Battle of the Stones, this category. It's either going to be Lily Gladstone or Emma Stone for Poor Things. My personal choice for this category would be Sandra Hüller, but if the Golden Globes didn't go for Sandra Hüller, and the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is made up of a lot of international film critics who I thought would be the most likely to pick Sandra Hüller for the win, if they didn't go for her, I feel like it's less likely to translate with the Critics' Choice Association, where it's very American-based and very Canadian-based. I feel like it's going to come down to either Lily Gladstone or Emma Stone. It's tough to pick here because whoever wins between Stone and Gladstone will become the legit frontrunner. Like, they both won the Golden Globe, but whoever wins here will have more awards and then we'll have the momentum. There won't be like a deadlock to win the Oscar, but they will certainly have momentum. Remember last year, Cate Blanchett won at the Critics' Choice Award, where Michelle Yeoh was heavily favoured and expected to win. Like, a lot of people were predicting Michelle Yeoh to win at Critics' Choice Award, but it went to Cate Blanchett, who also won the BAFTA, seeing like she had the momentum. Michelle Yeoh didn't get the momentum back until the SAG Awards, and then went on to win the Oscar. So yes, it can all change. Remember, it's still early days. Just because someone's winning early on doesn't mean they're going to carry momentum all the way through. Things can change. An important thing to remember as well, that SAG is the last big awards precursor before the Oscars. So whoever wins, at SAG will have the best momentum going into Oscars night. Remember, not a guarantee, but yeah, all four of the SAG winners last year went on to win at Oscars. So yeah. Momentum matters. This is tough because on the one hand, you've got Emma Stone, who is in one of the most beloved films of the year. Emma Stone really is Poor Things. She is this movie. It's her story, her character's journey as Bella Baxter. The whole film is from her point of view. And yeah, she crams so much emotional growth into a 2-hour film. It's insane. I genuinely think this is a career best performance from Emma Stone. It's my favorite performance from her. So yeah, she's very much deserving. But then on the other hand, you've got Lily Gladstone, who doesn't dominate the screen time in Kills of the Flower Moon to the degree that Emma Stone does. But I do agree that even if she doesn't have as much screen time as, say, Emma Stone does in Poor Things, she still is felt throughout the film. The story does run through her character of Molly, because it is her pain, her anguish, her sense of betrayal. It's all happening to her. And yes, she might be a passive spectator for a bit of the film, where she's in bed and sick, and she's not really moving the plot along. But my point is that she is still felt throughout the film. It's kind of like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, which is a weird comparison, I know. But he didn't have a lot of screen time, but his presence was felt. And it's the same with Lily Gladstone. When she's not on screen, you can still feel her character. She permeates throughout the whole story. That's what I'm saying. And again, she would also be a very worthy winner. Oh, this is tough, because Emma Stone's is a more comedic performance than Gladstone's, and that's why I think the comparison to last year with Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh applies, because Cate Blanchett was probably the more serious of the two performances. Not that Michelle Yeoh didn't have dramatic weight in her performance, but yeah, there was the goofy comedic elements to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Maybe they will favor the more serious dramatic turn from Lily Gladstone over the humorous side of Emma Stone, even though there is a lot of pathos from Emma Stone's character, Bella Baxter. And another thing to consider is last year they had a chance to make history by, giving it to Michelle Yeoh, making her the first woman of, Southeast Asian descent to win in this category ever. But they didn't. They gave it to Cate Blanchett, and they also do have the chance to make history this year by giving it to Lily Gladstone, the first Indigenous woman to ever win at the Critics' Choice Awards, which would be cool, but it's not a guarantee. Just because someone is from a diverse background doesn't mean they're necessarily going to win. They had a chance to make history last year, they didn't take it. They have a chance to make history this year, will they take it? But the problem is you've got 2, even 3 incredibly deserving performances here. This really is a challenging one to choose from. It really is like a coin flip for me, but I'm gonna go with Lily Gladstone because she does have the momentum. She's been winning in most of the critics groups, and she won the Golden Globe. Well, obviously Emma Stone won the Golden Globe as well, but I feel like she has more in her corner at the moment in terms of award wins, and I feel like now the Critics' Choice will probably want to continue that. But if Emma Stone does win, it's not gonna be all that surprising, and it will make the race more interesting, I think. But yeah, I feel like they're probably gonna want to take the opportunity to award Lily Gladstone here. I think they're gonna want to continue that, and they're gonna want to give Killers of the Flower Moon something. Lily Gladstone feels like the best shot, I think, for Killers of the Flower Moon. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, so next up we have Best Actor. Okay, a lot of people think that Bradley Cooper is gonna step up and be a challenger here for Cillian Murphy, because Cillian Murphy does have the momentum right now. He won at the Golden Globes. A lot of people thought Bradley Cooper would win there, but no, Cillian Murphy did. But the question is Cillian Murphy gonna start to sweep, or is he gonna have a challenger in the form of Bradley Cooper or maybe Paul Giamatti? It is tough, this one. Bradley Cooper gives the bigger performance, and sometimes at the Critics' Choice they like the bigger performances. Also, Paul Giamatti has a lot of respect in the critics group, so I feel like Paul Giamatti could pull off a surprise win here. He's in the 3rd place, which makes sense. It does feel like it's coming down to Cillian out of Bradley, but Paul Giamatti, watch out for him. If he does win here, then yeah, people really will be considering him for the Oscar. But my instinct is telling me to go with Cillian Murphy again. It makes a lot of sense that Cillian Murphy would go along with the Oppenheimer bundle, because Cillian Murphy is Oppenheimer. A lot of the movie rests on his performance, and Cillian Murphy absolutely smashed it out of the park. But I still think Bradley Cooper has a shot here. It would certainly make the race more interesting if either Bradley Cooper or Paul Giamatti won here, because it'll make the winner for the Oscar a little harder to call. But Cillian Murphy does have the added benefit of being the performance in one of the biggest movies of the year that has been seen by so many people. Also, Oppenheimer is a more liked film by critics and audiences, so it makes sense why more people would be drawn to Cillian Murphy than Bradley Cooper if they preferred Oppenheimer as a movie overall to Maestro. With this category, the narrative seems to be like the battle of the biopics between, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper as Maestro. And the thing is, with this battle between Cillian Murphy and Bradley Cooper, Cillian Murphy gives a restrained, measured performance in the big, spectacular summer blockbuster movie of the year, whereas Bradley Cooper gives the big performance in the smaller but modestly received Netflix movie, which has been doing the rounds at the Fall Film Festival circuit, which Bradley Cooper also co-wrote, produced, and directed. Cooper spent 6 years apparently getting this film off the ground. He poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making this, so it really is like a passion project for him. But he's also backed up by some of the most influential figures in the movie industry, because Scorsese and Spielberg both helped to produce Maestro. So yes, I'm sure they're gonna be in his corner, rooting for him and championing him. So yeah, there's a solid chance that Bradley Cooper could win at the Critics' Choice Awards. I honestly do think that if I had to pick my winner for the Oscar, it would be Cillian Murphy, and it's nice knowing when it's a nice easy journey for them, but also it's more exciting when it's not a guaranteed thing. That's why Brendan Fraser's win last year was so satisfying, because it wasn't smooth. There were some bumps. There was a challenger in Austin Butler, and that made it exciting, more exciting when he won. So yeah, as much as I want it to be a nice smooth journey for Cillian Murphy, I think the race would be more exciting if he does have a challenger. Is it going to be Bradley Cooper? Is it going to be Paul Giamatti? Who knows? But for the Critics' Choice Award, I am going to predict Cillian Murphy. So yeah, that's who I'm going with. Next up we have, beep boop beep boop, we have Supporting Actress. Oh, this is a nice easy one, isn't it? Yeah, it's obviously going to be Divine Joy Randolph. This is the year of Divine Joy. You all agreed on Twitter that Divine Joy Randolph is walking away with this trophy. She has been collecting all of them, so I don't expect her to not win here. I think that'd be very odd. If anyone else does win here, it would be a bit of a shock. The only person I think that might have an outside chance is Danielle Brooks, for The Color Purple. A lot of people really did love her performance in that, and she was great. But yeah, again, just gonna argue with Divine Joy Randolph's numbers. Yeah, I think this is a nice, easy one. I'm just gonna go with Divine Joy Randolph, guys. Which brings us into Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, it's obviously gonna be Divine Joy Randolph. This is a nice easy one. I'm just gonna go with Divine Joy Randolph, guys. Which brings us into Best Supporting Actor. And I do feel pretty confident on this one. Yep, number one is Robert Downey Jr., who I'm gonna go with. If the critics really do wanna go in on Barbie, you know, instead of it being just an Oppenheimer party, they make it a Barbenheimer party, and, you know, Barbie gets a few wins. Maybe they'll go with Ryan Gosling here, give us a little bit of a race, you know, going into Oscars. But I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. just ticks so many boxes. People are happy for him to finally see him being on the pathway to win an Oscar. People are excited about the fact about Robert Downey Jr. winning an Academy Award, and I think, you know, the critics want to see that happen too. So yeah, I think Robert Downey Jr.'s got this. Ryan Gosling, outside chance, and then Charles Melton, outside chance. He just gained enough sympathy for being snubbed from the BAFTA long lists and the SAG Awards as well. Maybe they would think, oh, should we give it to Charles Melton? You know, give him something. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Robert Downey Jr. for Best Supporting Actor. Best Original Screenplay. Top of the list on Gold Derby is Barbie, which is interesting because it's being moved to Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. And yeah, so if it wins the Critics' Choice Awards, it's gonna make predicting Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars a challenge, I'm gonna say that. But yeah, are they going to go all in on Barbie? Do they want to see Greta Gerwig up on that stage and Noah Baumbach as well? Yeah, this is interesting because Anatomy of a Fall just won the screenplay category at Golden Globes, and that's not here. That's not one for me to fall back on as an alternative to Barbie here. Yeah, the other ones in the top are The Holdovers and Past Lives. Yeah, part of me could see Past Lives winning this because Past Lives is really loved, you know, by critics. I remember when I first saw Past Lives, I was like, oh, I could see this winning Best Original Screenplay. It's not flashy, the screenplay, but it's delicate, it's personal, it's raw, and it has lots of like little pearls of like sage wisdom in it. Like, it's a really beautifully written movie, very poetic. And I remember it sticking with me after I watched it. A lot of really good quotes in Past Lives. The Holdovers as well, though, like, I could see that winning that. It's also very well written. Like, some of the insults that Paul Giamatti throws at his students are just absolutely savage and very funny. I can see people liking that, but it's also got a lot of heart to it as well. But I do feel like Barbie is the film that aligns most with what the Critics' Choice would usually go for. The thing is, the Critics' Choice, they actually have a pretty good track record of predicting the Oscars. And like, they do like to put a lot of emphasis on the word original. And Barbie, yes, it's based off an IP and it's going to adapt it in the Oscars. But what Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach did with it was very original. It was very surprising. It's like a high concept film just with the character of Barbie and Ken. It kind of does feel like akin to other winners in this category before, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Promising Young Woman, or Get Out, or Her, or Birdman. So yeah, I could see them going with Barbie. The Holdovers might be fresh in people's minds because it's a Christmas movie that probably was watched by a lot of people over Christmas because it's festive, and it probably reminded a lot of people how good the screenplay was. So for that reason, I could see it going to The Holdovers. But yeah, part of me just thinks Past Lives occupies a place in so many like people's hearts. So many critics responded to it and loved the screenplay. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna go with Past Lives here, just because I want it to win something, and I feel like a lot of critics will want it to win something as well, somewhere. Like, it didn't win anything at Golden Globes, and that was also made up of critics. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is so much love and respect for Past Lives that they'll maybe just give it something, and Screenplay feels like the best place for it to win. Barbie's gonna win so many things already. Does it need the Screenplay win? But yeah, The Holdovers could very easily win. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Past Lives. It's a risk, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta go with your heart and your gut. Although they are saying different things, my heart and my gut. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Past Lives. Okay, Best Adapted Screenplay. If I could pick, I would go for the 6th option on Gold Derby, All of Us Strangers, because I absolutely adore that film, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the subject matter is just a bit too niche. I don't think Oppenheimer's going to win this. If it did go to Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, I would love that. That would be a very fun win, but a delightful surprise, not going to happen. I feel like American Fiction has a better chance than Killers of the Flower Moon, because it's a very biting, funny satire, you know, about our times right now. Poor Things is the #1 on Gold Derby. I can understand that. they're probably going to want Poor Things to win something somewhere. For me, it's between Poor Things and American Fiction. I think Poor Things is a stronger film overall. I think more people love Poor Things than they do American Fiction. I think it's better reviewed as well. It kind of makes sense to go with Poor Things. I was leaning more towards American Fiction previously because even though I do think Poor Things is a more well-rounded film overall, American Fiction, the thing that really stands out for it is the screenplay. The writing is so funny and biting and yeah, it's just very topical and timely right now. But yeah, I think Poor Things is more celebrated overall, and I think they're going to want to honor it where they can, and it's not going to get as many wins as like Oppenheimer or Barbie, so they're probably going to want to honor it somewhere. So screenplay does make sense. So yeah, I'm going to go with Poor Things for adapted screenplay. But if it is American Fiction, I'm going to slap my head. Best Film Ensemble. And this is tough because there's so many great ensembles to choose from here. I'm leaning more towards Barbie because of its plethora of nominations, and it does have quite a diverse cast as well. So yeah, I think they can feel good about giving it to Barbie. I think there's a lot of love for Barbie. But I could see this going to The Color Purple, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, maybe. Last year, Glass Onion won Best Cast Ensemble, which was quite a fun ensemble. And I feel like they might do the same again because it was a fun ensemble on Barbie. So yeah, it's the top choice in Gold Derby. I'm gonna go for Barbie anyways. So yeah, next question, please. Best Young Actor or Actress. Oh, and at the top we've got Dominic Sessa for The Holdovers, which makes a lot of sense. Oh, but there is Milo Mercado-Grana, number 3 for Anatomy of a Fall, who I really love, and I've been like sort of championing this award season, you know, to get some nominations. I'm glad he's got the nom here. I don't know if he can win it because, yeah, Dominic Sessa makes the most sense because out of all of these 6, he's probably the only person in this category that I could see potentially getting the Oscar nomination, you know, for The Holdovers. Like, he could get in a BAFTA, he could get in the Oscars. I'm not saying he will, but he has the best chance out of this bunch. I can't see that happening for Abby Ryder-Fortson. And while Milo Mercado-Grana would be, you know, amazing, it does feel like, you know, a very, very long shot at this point. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. He didn't get in on the BAFTA long list for Best Supporting Actor. I'm going to go with Dominic Sessa. He makes the most sense here. Okay, so next question we have Best Comedy Film. This is an interesting one because with the Critics' Choice Awards, you would think they would probably give it to like a film that's going to, you know, go on to win Best Picture. And there's like 4 films here that are definite like Best Picture contenders, or at least going to get nominated. So you've got Barbie, Poor Things, American Fiction, and The Holdovers. They all have a good chance of getting nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. So you'd think they'd go with that, but with the last few years, the film that this goes to isn't always in contention for Best Picture. Last year I went to Glass Onion. That wasn't nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. It's gone to The Big Sick and Crazy Rich Asians, and Dolomite Is My Name. So yeah, there is an argument to say that maybe Bottoms or No Hard Feelings could surprise here, because maybe the Critics' Choice Awards will feel like, well, the top 4 are gonna get, you know, some awards somewhere. Maybe we should try honor, you know, a legit comedy that's not an Oscars movie, like Bottoms or No Hard Feelings. Bottoms I still haven't seen, sorry guys, but yeah, it has had an amazing reception. I know a lot of people really love Bottoms, which would be a fun win, even though I've not seen it. And No Hard Feelings as well. I know it's a dumb, well, not dumb, it's actually a fun, you know, romantic comedy that feels like it's from the 90s or the noughties, but that's the thing, it kind of made it feel special because they don't make a lot of movies like it, and like the performances in it were solid and it was a fun time and funny. So yeah, No Hard Feelings would be a bit of a surprise. It's number 6 on Gold Derby, but it would be cool to see something like that win. It's not going to win any awards anywhere else. But yeah, will they go for Barbie because it got the most nominations? Or will they go for American Fiction because it's a funny satire? Yeah, this is tough. All these movies did a good job of making me laugh this year. I'm gonna go... Oh, screw it. I'm gonna go with Bottoms. The one film I've not seen and I'm predicting it, which is strange. Best Animated Feature. Okay, this is gonna come down to either Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or The Boy and the Heron. I'm gonna give the win to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Best Foreign Language Film. Ooh, oh, this is tough because so many great films here. Anatomy of a Fall is number 1 and The Zone of Interest is number 2. I do think, yeah, Anatomy of a Fall has a better chance of winning here. Like I said, it's a more palatable film, I think, than The Zone of Interest. Anatomy of a Fall does seem to be on the rise at the moment. It did win 2 Golden Globes, Best Screenplay and Best Film Not in the English Language there. So it makes sense that it will continue its trend. The thing is, Anatomy of a Fall, it's not France's submission for Best International Film at the Oscars, so it's not going to win there because it's not eligible to be nominated. It's pretty much assured that The Zone of Interest is going to win now, the foreign language film at the Oscars. It feels very likely that's going to happen. So it makes sense that people would want to honor Anatomy of a Fall where they can, because it's not going to be nominated for Best International Film at the Oscars, so they can nominate it here. And I do think it's a bit more easy to watch than The Zone of Interest. While The Zone of Interest is certainly powerful and harrowing, Anatomy of a Fall is a good watch. It's very rewatchable. You want to rewatch Anatomy of a Fall. The Zone of Interest, I don't want to go back and watch again. It's one of those films where I'm like, once is enough. I appreciate it. I don't know if like's the right word, but I do appreciate it as a movie. I respect it and I admire it. But yeah, it's not a film I enjoyed watching. It's a movie that's very uncomfortable and not in a good way either. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling on. I'm gonna go over Anatomy of a Fall for Best Foreign Language Film. Best Cinematography, oh, easy, Oppenheimer. So not much to discuss there. Okay, cool. And then next up, we've got Costume Design. Oh, okay, I'm having difficulty here. So the top 2 are Barbie and Poor Things here. And I've done a whole video on my channel about how production design and costume design are gonna be a battle between Barbie and Poor Things. So the thing with Barbie is, it is 2 hours of fashion and clothes throughout the decades. With Poor Things though, these are more elaborately constructed garments. They're very original. They came out of Holly Waddington's head, okay? Whereas, you know, Jacqueline Duran was recreating looks and stuff. Kind of echoes last year. It was Ruthie Carter. She won here of Critics' Choice Awards for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and went on to win the Oscar. But, you know, her fiercest competition was Kathleen Martin for Elvis. And she was recreating Elvis looks, obviously. Barbie makes sense because, yeah, a lot of clothes, big fashion moments in the movie as well. But I do think, because Barbie is going to win in a lot of places, that they might want to spread the love around and give Poor Things a win where they can. Because it could win Screenplay, and maybe here. Oh, it really is tough. Okay, I'm gonna go with Poor Things here, purely based on the reason that last year Ruthie Carter won for creating, you know, elaborately constructive and, you know, very out there designs for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Maybe they're gonna find the technical aspects of the costume design more impressive at the Critics' Choice Awards. So that's my logic there, but I do think Barbie can still win the Oscar. So yeah. But if Barbie does win here, I'm gonna be mad with myself. Okay, Best Editing. Okay, easy. It's gonna go to Jennifer Lane for Oppenheimer. I do think Thelma Schumacher did a great job of the editing in Killers of the Flower Moon. She kept moving at a great pace, and she really honed it all in. But yeah, Oppenheimer. I guess you could say Oppenheimer had the most editing this year. It was definitely the showstopper editing in terms of piecing it all together, and yeah, it's very coherent, very cohesive editing from Jennifer Lane. So yeah, I'm going with Oppenheimer. Next up we have Best Hair and Makeup. Yeah, the top is Maestro. Makes a lot of sense. I feel like they might want to give something to Maestro, even if Bradley Cooper doesn't win. But yeah, Poor Things does have the prosthetics also on Willem Dafoe, so it is quite noticeable there. But yeah, Maestro's the more transformative into a real person achievement. Although last year, I'm just remembering though, The Whale didn't win here at the Critics' Choice, did it? It went to Elvis, which was a transforming into a real person thing. But there was a little bit of backlash to Brendan Fraser's fat suit, you know, they wore for The Whale. Is that also going to apply here with Bradley Cooper and the fake nose? And some people were saying like it was anti-Semitic for him to wear, you know, a big nose because he was Jewish. I don't really think so. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think because he had permission from the Bernstein estate, the children and all that, they gave them their blessing, and I think it was all in good intentions. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think they'll probably want to give Maestro something. It's a film they admire and respect, but maybe not love, but they'll probably give it hair and makeup. So yes, I'm gonna go with Maestro for hair and makeup. Then next up we've got Best Score, nice easy one, Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson. I mean, it would be cool if it went to something like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Robbie Robertson also passed away, so there's a chance maybe would they want to like posthumously award him. I do like the score in Killers of the Flower Moon. And also like the score in Poor Things as well. It's very odd, very quirky, and very heartfelt. But yeah, Oppenheimer is the score of the year. It's best song. Oh God, and Barbie, What Was I Made For is #1 on Gold Derby. Oh God, I'm having a crisis here because I really, really want I'm Just Ken to win, not only here but at the Oscars. I want it to win best song. So much more than I do Billie Eilish for What Was I Made For. This is not me hating on Billie Eilish. I like the song. I just love I'm Just Ken so much more. And Dance the Night. It's like, oh, I just want I'm Just Ken to win. And like part of me thinks that critics might appreciate it more than Billie Eilish. But no, the critics went for What Was I Made For at the Globes. Why wouldn't the Critics' Choice also follow suit? I'm just going to be defined here. I feel like there's still a lot of love and passion for I'm Just Ken. I'm probably being stupid here. I'm probably throwing away an easy prediction. But yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm Just Ken. I'm trying to manifest the win here wherever I can. Best production design. Okay, again, this is gonna be the Barbie Poor Things showdown. I'm gonna go with Barbie for this one, just for Barbie Land. I wanted to go to that world so badly, and yeah, because the sets were just so incredible, so detailed, and just so playful and colorful and imaginative. And yeah, I think it's going to be Barbie. But you know, Poor Things does have a chance. All right. Oh, that's me done then. Lovely jubbly. There you have it, guys. Those are my predictions for the 2024 Critics' Choice Awards, which are taking place on Sunday, the 14th of January. Do let me know in the comment section down below. Who are you predicting in all the categories? Do you think there might be a surprise brewing in one of them? Yeah, whatever you have to say about the award season in general, do let me know in the comment section down below. I love hearing from you guys. If you have enjoyed the video, hit the little like button for me. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.